Let's take a dive into the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 1. My son, if thou be surety for thy friend, if thou hast stricken thy hand with a stranger, thou art snared with the words of thy mouth. Thou art taken with the words of thy mouth. You are snared and taken with the words of your mouth. If thou be surety for thy friend, what is it? Your friend can surely rely on you. You have sworn yourself to friendship. You have sworn yourself to loyalty. You have sworn yourself to support. You have snared yourself with your words. You are taken with the words of your mouth because guess what? We don't lie. So if you swear your loyalty to someone, you swear your allegiance to someone, you declare someone your friend, whatever that person is into, you are guilty by association because everybody's into something. Whatever that person is into, and it may not be something bad, it may just be something that your normal group of people disagree with. It may be something that they don't support. It could be something spiritual or religious, if you will. But you are snared with the words of your mouth. So do this now, my son. Deliver thyself. When thou art come into the hand of thy friend, go, humble thyself, and make sure thy friend. Stop living with your eyes in the clouds. You got your head in the clouds or you got it in a hole in the ground like an ostrich. You got to make sure the people around you, are who they say they are. Let me tell you something. There are several things that go on in society now, even some of the things that go on social media where people get caught up trying to be friends with the wrong people, not knowing what they stand for, not knowing what they're about, not knowing what they think of them, of the person even. You're trying to be friends with someone who doesn't even like you or your kind. Humble thyself. We're going to use that word in our lives a lot if we're striving to be the most alpha version of ourselves and we're striving to be men of God. We're going to be humble. You go, humble thyself and make sure thy friend. What does that mean? Go, be friendly, be inviting, be engaging. Their response to that is going to determine if they are truly a friend or not. Because you can't fake friendship if you're looking at it like you're supposed to. You can't fake love if you're looking at it like you're supposed to. You can't fake liking someone if you're looking at it like you're supposed to. Why? Because those things require actions. Actions have to be reciprocated. People can give you lip service and talk to you all the time, but it's their actions that are going to show you who they truly are. So make sure that this person who says they're your friend is truly your friend. You need to make sure of that. Many people are caught up in situations right now in life because they trusted someone who was not trustworthy. But trust me, God gave you the signs. God showed you what you needed to see, but you weren't looking. You were too busy being in your own head with your head in the clouds. You were too busy thinking about yourself, thinking about how fragile you are as a human being. We pump our chest up, and because we make a little money or we have a little power or a little prestige, we pump our chest up and think that we are better than other people. But you must humble yourself because you don't know if that person around you is around you for the need or the greed or to help you proceed with speed. You have no idea, but you need to find out. Verse 4. Give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber to thine eyelids. Deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler. We're talking about being lazy now. We're talking about not being on your purpose now. We're talking about not pursuing the mission that God put you here to pursue. We're talking about not putting in the hard work that it takes to become the man that God put you here to be. You are lazing your life away. All these things, you need 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Says who? I ain't never needed 10 hours of sleep. I ain't never needed 8. Don't matter how tired I am. Don't set no alarm. I ain't gonna sleep 8 hours. I don't think I ever slept 8 hours a day in my life. Not that I can remember. It don't matter how tired I was. Don't matter how early or late I go to bed. Let me tell you something. If I go to bed late, I can go to sleep with earplugs in my ears. Can't hear nothing. Fire alarm wouldn't wake me up. But I ain't never slept no 8 hours. 8 to 10 hours, especially for a man, 8 to 10 hours is laziness. You don't need 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Put a 1 in the chat if you can sleep 10 hours. 8, I can get 8, especially for someone like a truck driver or something like that, man. If you constantly rolling like that, man, I get that. Truck driving is a tough gig. It can be lucrative and it's very productive, very necessary aspect of society. All the goods we have right now, at some point, were on a truck, probably driven by a truck driver we know. You cannot do it. It is not meant for you to sleep 10 hours. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest. 9 times out of 10, when you see ants in the summertime, what they doing? They moving. They going to and fro to somewhere where they have found some food to take back home. All through the summer, that's what you see them doing. If it rains, you don't see them. But as soon as the rain stops, you find them out there trudging through the mud, man. They are walking out there trying to store up food for the winter because they know they can't come outside and play in the winter. They don't do very well in the cold weather. So if the ant has sense enough to know that they need to put something back for a rainy day, why don't you know it? If the ant, having no guide, there is no one telling the ant, come on, ants, let's go. They instinctively know to go, just like you instinctively know to go. But you allow society and the normalcy of being lazy and watching technology and being in front of the TV and being in front of your phone and being in front of your computer all day long. And I ain't talking about working in front of it. I'm talking about hanging out in front of it for your leisure, sitting in front of it with a bag of chips, dipping it in the chip, wasting the chips and dip all on your computer, doing all of those things. You are sitting there because you have not paid attention to the ant. And you are being a sluggard, hater of work. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that traveleth, and thy want as an armed man. Which means that want will come and it will push you to do some things that you would normally do under normal circumstances. It will come and it will force you. Like an armed man, it will come and force you to do what you have to do to just get a little morsel of bread in your throat, to put some in your belly. Yeah, that is a point, SJ. Under normal circumstances, you can't sleep that long. But I have too, man. I had flu pneumonia, man. I had flu and pneumonia at the same time, and bro, I was down. I was down. You know what I'm saying? Like I was down. But look at the things we have to go through in order to be like that. There are people, man, who live that way. They are sleeping as much as they can. So when that poverty cometh as a man, as one that traveleth, and that want as an armed man, boy, you sure enough gonna want something. But you know what you should have been doing? You should have been working when you had the chance to work. You should have been grinding the way you had to grind. Let me tell you what it is with us as human beings. Our youth is our summertime. Our elderly years are our winter. You better be grinding as hard as you can in your summertime. So when your wintertime, you ain't got to be out there in the cold trying to find whatever little morsel you can find. Because the reason the ants ain't out there in the wintertime, because ain't no food out there in the wintertime. People ain't out there in the wintertime. Nothing out there that will lead them to move around like that is out there in the summer, in the wintertime. But in the summertime, it's on. You better start taking advantage of the summertime season in your life. The summertime season in your life. Because one of these days, the winter is going to come. And just like things move slow in winter, you're going to be moving slow. Just like things are all shut down in the winter, you're going to be shut down. Just like things are closed out early in the winter, you're going to be closing early. And you're going to look back on these summer times in your life with regret and fret and a newfound respect that it's going to be too late to inject. It's going to be done. So again, I say, go to the ant, thou hater of work, thou lazy person. Consider her ways and be wise. Look at that. Consider her ways and be wise. Don't just look at them. Consider her ways and be wise, which means turn that into wisdom for you to use in your life. Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provided her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest. A naughty person is chapter 12. A naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth. What is a froward mouth? A false mouth, falsifying facts, speaking ill toward people, creating fallacies, bringing people harm with the words of your mouth, slandering people you don't even know. Certain sectors of this platform, man, I stay away from. I stay away from because when you go to them, that's all you hear. I stay away from. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Don't want to be involved in. Don't want to be engaged in it because there's no lesson in it. The lesson is avoid those people. He winketh with his eyes. He speaketh with his feet. He teacheth with his fingers. Now, here's what I want y'all to know. How can you speak with your feet, King Ray Ray? When a person says, I'm righteous. When a person says, I live a life that's pleasing to God. When a person says, I try to live humbly. When a person says, I do good and try to avoid doing evil, but their feet always run to evil, forget their words, look at their feet. You know how I tell you, don't worry about their words, look at their actions. You can say whatever you want to say, but if your feet always running there, don't tell me what you don't do. Your feet got a mind of their own? No. Your feet tell me what's really on your heart because your feet going to take you where you really want to go. You got to keep in mind that when a man winketh with his eyes and speaketh with his feet and teacheth with his fingers, you ever seen somebody that's always pointing somebody out? You in a room full of people, you see them over there pointing somebody. If you know them, they talking to you, pointing at somebody. That is a man with a froward mouth. No one knows that much about everybody. I grew up with a guy like that. We called him the mouth of the South. Still call him that now. If I saw him right now, he'd be able to tell me things about people I hadn't thought about in 22 years, man. He would be there to tell me about it, what they got going on right now. And I'm not talking about one, I'm talking about multiple people. Know everybody. Cool with everybody. Too all right. You got to avoid people that's too all right. See, you can't be that all right where you all right with everybody. You're too all right. You want to be around everybody. You want to hang out with everybody. You want to do business with everybody. You want to. I can't handle that because that's a person that speaks with a froward mouth. You can't like everybody. See, if I have an enemy, you can't like me and my enemy. When you are here with me or when you are there with them, you are pointing the finger at the other side. Frowardness is in his heart. He deviseth mischief continually. He soweth discord. You've seen it in your own life. Somebody that's always in the middle of something, always sowing discord. You know why? Because they always running that froward mouth of theirs. Always has something to say about somebody. Always. You can't trust a person like that. You don't even want to be around a person like that. A person like that doesn't even want to be around themselves. That's why they always around other people, talking, jaw jacking, spreading rumors. Mouth of the South, always yapping. Therefore, shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. I want you to think about all those people you grew up with who are like that and tell me what condition they were in last time you saw them physically. Last time you saw them physically. This guy I'm talking about, man, I was I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was looking at like a news site. I get alerts from a news site, man, and he had a wreck. He a truck driver, man, had a wreck in his truck. I knew it was him because they said his name and the thing. And we the same age. So I was like, man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? In the city, in my hometown, I was like, man, that's crazy right there. But things always happen. And just over the years, I could tell you a number of things that something always happens. Because when you are that way, you are sowing the seed of discord for others, but you are sowing the seed to be destroyed in your own life. That's why I stay out of people's mess. I don't have a dog in that race. Whatever racing in there, dogs, horses, rabbits, pumpkins. I ain't got a dog in that race. I ain't got a horse in that race. I ain't got a pumpkin in that race. Because it ain't worth it, man. It's not worth it. Got a couple of super chats here, man. The Money Boys, salute, appreciate the dime. Just want to say I appreciate you, Doc. You made me a cold piece. Your teaching has bettered me mentally, physically, spiritually, to the point I'm no longer a drifter. Can't thank you enough, brother. Salute. Hey, salute, brother. I want you to thank yourself as well for putting in that work. Thank yourself. I want you men to always thank yourself. Thank God. Thank your elders. Thank those who gave you information. Thank those who helped push you along. Thank those who prayed for you. But when you look in that mirror every morning, thank yourself. I want you to thank yourself for doing what you had to do to be blessed to see another day. Everything you did yesterday helped you not be left behind where you couldn't see today. You're on a mission. You're on the right path. You haven't got so far off the path that God gonna let you go. So thank yourself all the time. These 6 things the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. What's a proud look? That proud, haughty spirit looking down your nose at people like you better than them. You better than who? You put your pants on the same way. If you cut, you bleed the same way. All of that. Eat wrong, you're going to have the same terminal illnesses. Don't start walking around here with your head held high like you think you're above people. Because it don't matter to me if you do it. But the Lord hates it. A lying tongue. We already know what that is. We just got through talking about that. If you know you're not telling the truth, just shut your mouth. Don't say nothing. If you're about to open your mouth and say something that's not true, just cut yourself off. Just don't say it. Tell yourself you probably don't want to do that. And then you just don't do it. And hands that shed innocent blood. See, when you think about the Lord saying he hates something, he probably gonna give you a pass on that. See what I mean? He ain't gonna give you a pass on that. And heart that devises wicked imaginations. Someone who sit around and plot on people. Always thinking of a way to get over. Always thinking of a way to not have to use your own. Somebody in your family that's coming to you to borrow some money that they already got so they can use your money and then spend their money on what they want to and then ain't got no intention on paying you back. That's a heart that divides the wicked imagination against you. Feet that be swift, running to mischief. We just talked about that. Those who always run into the trouble. Those who always want to be a part of the trouble. Those who get their jollies from being a part of the trouble. Those who always want to be on the scene. Those who always want to be in the way. Those who always want to have their face in the place. Swift, running to mischief. And they will be the ones that get jammed up. Because you know why? They always are. A false witness that speaketh lies. A false witness. You done went and told the wrong thing. You done told an untruth on somebody intentionally. Intentionally. Do you know how you're damaging your spirit, man, when you speak lies about other people? You're doing yourself a great disservice and a great harm. There's no reason to do it. No reason to do it. Famo, a false witness that speaketh lies, and also he that soweth discord among brethren. We just talked about that. He that soweth discord among brethren. Man, if you are talking to somebody about somebody, and then you go to the other person and tell them what the other person said, boy, you are a curse to society. You are not someone that anyone should want to be around. Because let me tell you something. If God don't like you, I don't either. I don't want you around me either. He that soweth discord among brethren, I'm going to turn you against your brother. Chapter 20, verse 20, rather. My son, keepeth thy father's commandment and forsake not the law of thy mother. Now, you know, we are talking about the biblical time when people live their lives a certain way. But keep thy father's commandment and forsake not the law of thy mother. You know, even now, you know how many men are in situations with women that their mama told him, son, I don't like her. There's something about her. You shouldn't marry her. You shouldn't go with her. You shouldn't keep her. You shouldn't live with her. You shouldn't have a kid with her. Your mama done told you that. But you didn't keep the law of your mother. Your father taught you a lot of things not to do when you were young. Do this, don't do that. You know what? You got caught up with your friends and you didn't keep your father's commandment. But you should have bound them continually upon your heart and tie them about your neck. Bind them continually upon thine heart and tie them about thy neck, which means they should go everywhere you go. If you bind something on your heart, wherever you go, it's going. Tied around your neck. It's your favorite necklace. Don't you take it off. Every time you move, you need to feel it swinging on you to remind you it's there. Every time your heart beat, you need to, it is beating to remind you that you have bound the law of your mother and the commandment of your father on your heart.